Hello guys. I'm really sorry. I really just forgot that we have Monday today. Okay. I hear an echo. That's crazy. So hopefully now that works. No, it doesn't, unfortunately. Okay. Mm, give me a second, please. That's always the same. I don't know why. I'm just setting up my system. I'm not working with my notebook anymore because I just did a lot of problems. But right now I heard me twice. That's disturbing. Uh, so I'll try again. Mic check again. Okay, that's it. Um, can you give me just one sign that the mic is clear, you can hear me, the screen is okay for you as well? Gandalf is, is, as you see, I'm not the smartest guy. Okay, but now it should work. So if someone have some trouble with my voice, with my mic, maybe just give me a sign. I can hear you. Okay, Andiko, thank you very much. Okay, then let us start with this very ad hoc Twitch session, Twitch or streaming session actually, because it was I just did notice that we have Monday today, just a few minutes ago. That's due COVID-19, and well, yeah. As I'm spending a lot of time just at home, it's being a challenge. But let us go now to the next screen. We have the Bitcoin chart right now there. Yeah, perfect. So what is happening right now? It's first of all, as I mentioned on Twitter already, we are above of EMA 100. That's actually a good thing, and as you notice, it's right now struggling here. It is trying to bounce up, but actually we have the EMA 200 there at 40K right now. So the problem right now is here, and we had this problem also just a few days ago and some days before as well. So it's always the same. It's maintaining actually one level before it starts to dump again. And actually, if you take a look, it's always really the same pattern. Okay, it's always the same pattern. Of course, not exactly the same. That's not possible. But it's always showing the same pattern. Even if an exchange like Huobi is now um, blocking or banning some countries, I guess nations there are very active placing long futures. And as we noticed that Huobi was partly one of the exchanges that had the biggest long liquidations in the last days, I don't think that we are done. Um, First of all, I just can analyze what the chart, what the market gives me based on data. And if we change now the chart to actually what I did a few days ago, okay, that's actually the perpetual futures contract chart of BTC based on 1 day view. And I just noticed, I mean, some of you just sent me a message and shared, and thank you very much for that, and shared actually a YouTube video of a guy that was explaining that he noticed that the Wyckoff schematic is identical, or the current BTC chart of the last month is identical to the Wyckoff schematic. I was actually taking a look to the accumulation schematic and not to the distribution. I was completely wrong, and this guy was completely right, even if the schematic wasn't really on point in his YouTube video. As he, for example, thought that this part would be, for example, the LPSY, and that's just the UT. What is the UT? That's what they call the failing rally. Okay, so the failing rally, why? It's actually very easy. We had a big uptrend. Sometimes I have to. We don't see you. You don't see me? Really not? Uh, but I'm actually with my notebook. I can see everything. No, yes. Okay, okay, okay. Great, great. Okay. Um. So I just I was wondering with the last moves of BTC if that would really fit like he was explaining on his YouTube video. And then I just noticed he wasn't really wrong, but he wasn't on point. And then I started to make my own analysis, and then I got we had our rally, our failing rally, but before he thought. And that was when Janet Yellen just spread this rumor about supporting Joe Biden's plans, his taxes plans and his regulation plans that actually caused this big dump, liquidating actually almost $10 billion just, and that's really only in long liquidations. And 50% or almost 45% of the whole, actually $10 billion came from Binance, not from Huobi. So, but that actually was a big signal, because that's crucial for the wake of schematic. You need this failing rally, because it was a rally. We started that rally actually here, okay? Of course, we had a dump that was actually in February, end of February. We had in March, we had our usual future liquidations. I don't remember what happened here actually. That was after Elon Musk Tesla purchase. I don't know what happened there, but we started here a dump again. That was actually maybe just the correction. That's absolutely normal in such markets. And we went up to the buy climax. Okay, that's where supposed the people just say, like I just added the market cycle, the thrill. We can still go up, time to buy on margin, and after that we started to have a little downtrend till 50K, and then we start a new rally. And this new rally was actually very strong. And we failed. We just failed to this rally, not because the market failed, not because the mass of the traders just decided, okay, we are done. I need some profit now. I need to sell my assets to make money. Actually, the traders wasn't ready for that. That was triggered by a rumor, just a story. Okay, I mean, you can define that as a manipulation, but you can define that as a sensitive market reaction as well. I mean, the people, I mean, all the spot traders that sold mid-May, or that was mid-April, I guess. Yeah, that was mid-April. That they came from Coinbase. That was something that issued in the US and not in other countries. That was, I remember that Coinbase just dropped thousands and thousands of Bitcoin tokens. And that triggered all this chain where we started to liquidate all these long futures. And then we come to the key phase. That's actually the LPSY, where we thought, okay, that's great. I mean, okay, we had this dump, that was crap, but now we start really strong with a big pump, and the pump was from 48 to actually 54. And then we maintained sideways run. I remember that some followers just told, it's boring, Bitcoin is doing nothing, absolutely nothing. We are just making a very boring sideways run, but that was the moment where the altcoins exploded and where Bitcoin started to dump in terms of the Bitcoin dominance. Actually, that was the best part. For the altcoins, that was actually the best part for me, actually, in compared to Bitcoin. Of course, we had our rally actually in end of December when Bitcoin dominance started to fall. Okay, um, and we know that actually altcoins take maybe two weeks to follow Bitcoin. So what and that's actually what we noticed again with the altcoins. Bitcoin started to dump, and altcoins just maintained a very good level. It wasn't they were wasn't dumping like Bitcoin, right? You remember we were talking about, and I said, wow, they are really strong. Okay, they are maintaining a good value, but yeah, after 2 weeks they have a little delay and they start to react. And that's what's happening right now, I guess, because the people, and that's just a theory, but I think that the people always have the hope if Bitcoin starts to stabilize or to run a sideway, my altcoin bags will explode. But when they notice, okay, that's not going to be up or going up, that's where they start to sell and to liquidate their own bags. Because otherwise, I don't see any sense why altcoins should really have this delay. For me, it doesn't make really a sense why that should be. I don't see a mathematic one. I don't see. I cannot explain why that should happen. I just think like I will do that as well as soon as I notice that Bitcoin is taking too long and the trend is absolutely downtrend without really some breaks where Bitcoin can take a breath. That's what I was mentioning all the time the last days. We need a break, not only to prevent a bear market, just to let flip the whole market, but also to prevent actually a panic sell. We are not ready to make a panic sell. We will have a panic sell, but we are not in the phase to make a panic sell. So I was taking a look, and for today, for example, if we take a look again to the current chart, okay, we had really, if you take a look here, that's like someone dropped the stone, and I was wondering if we. That's what I mentioned 1 or 2 days ago. I see that my connection on YouTube is, I don't know why, but it's much better than on Twitch. Okay, but now it should work again. Um, and I was asking myself, these guys cannot do that all the time. That's impossible. First of all, as mentioned, the market couldn't resist. The market would crash. That would, I mean, they would start a fucking panic sell. Everybody would sell his bags. Just just remember when some people are comparing 2017 with the current year, I just say yes, okay, it's possible that the chart is showing the same pattern, but don't forget we have a different structure based on market actors. Dogecoin, I don't know, the whole animals and the whole cakes and the whole a lot of different coins that we got this year, um, attracting young people, unexperienced traders. That's a big difference to 2017, and you have to take this in account when you are analyzing and comparing 2021 and 2017. I did in the past the same. I wouldn't say that's a mistake, but it's not on point. Okay? It's not the same. It's like you would compare 1980, 80, okay, the economic performance on 1980 with 2020 or 2019. I don't have now a comparison. It's just an example. But it was different. It was absolutely, our society was different. Our trends were different. So it's difficult to compare different years together when the market environment, when the market changed and based on market actors and maybe assets as well. Okay? So that's crucial to have in mind every time when we are doing that. So when I was taking a look to this chart, and I have seen that, and I thought, if this guy are really controlling the market, I mean, this guy sounds like conspiracy. That sounds like three people with big money cases are just manipulating the whole market. Well, I would say not necessary, because if that's the plan and that's the language that they speak together, you don't need three guys controlling the market. You have 300 guys controlling the market, or maybe 1,000 guys controlling the market, right? So that's actually the questions that I'm bringing on my paper and trying to find any answer to that. And actually, it makes sense that some schematic like Wyckoff would work, because that's the common language that they have. They don't need to talk each other and to say, "Hey, JP Morgan, we are going to dump tomorrow. So if you want to buy some tokens at 35K, you can do that." They don't need to do that. They have a common language. Okay, bankers as well. I mean, they don't need to go to a dark room and to talk about what they do to make bigger gains or to use their lobby groups to bring some laws or something. They have actually schematics and languages they talk each other about that. And I think Wyckoff is very accurate. And it showed us that much more than accurate, it seems it's the common language. And that's why I'm looking forward to get the last confirmation, because for me the last confirmation would be what we had here. But here. Okay? That's something where I say th that would be actually uh, the redistribution phase where we'll have some volatility. We will have, after such pump, a dump. And that, if as soon as we know that, we also know that the next phase is the accumulation. And that's the trigger for the panic sell. That's the sell climax phase. And if we know that, we can predict that and we can adjust our strategies like these guys do. It's not a guy. I'm not spreading any hate, and I'm nor or neither against any banks or institutional investors, nor against any nations. That doesn't make any sense, guys. Really not. It doesn't make any sense. The main point is to know how it works, to know the rules, to understand the rules, and to use these rules as well. Anything else is really wasting time and energy. Really. Um, So in case that we are right, and in case that these guys are using this common language, the Wyckoff schematic, I mean, the Wyckoff schematic, if you take a look to Wyckoff, for example, if you read a little bit about Wyckoff and why he um, just did this schematic, you know why he did that. That's not a language that they created just few months ago. It's almost 100 years old. So if we are on track, we can predict in few weeks or maybe in 1 week we will have the big pump. We will have a very big pump. Okay? Maybe we will be at 28, 29, or maybe actually, as I said, these levels are not correct. Okay? It was just for me to show you the schematic. I don't know if Bitcoin is going to dump to 18 or actually 15 to make the test, or 16. I don't know. Maybe we are much on upper level at 23, 24. We will need to see, and that's why I said I cannot predict the bottom of Bitcoin. Nobody can. That's impossible. A lot of guys try to predict the bottoms in the last few 2 weeks, and they failed. So we need to actually analyze the current situation, and we need to see if we get this confirmed. So for me, the next step is the daily candle, what we have today, fits perfectly, really perfectly to Wyckoff schematic. That's what I said a few days ago. We need a big green one. And today that's happening. But also I would expect a red one for tomorrow and maybe the next after as well. Before we start and maybe finished the transition to the redistribution phase, where we would start a big pump and would dump afterwards. And we would pump again, maybe a bigger pump, and we will dump again. So we will start something like what we had here, and then just few weeks later, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, we will make a downtrend, a big downtrend. It should be something like this here, not that big, not that strong, but we will almost reach our new bottom. If that's the case, that's the moment where we have to buy. We have to buy everything we can. Of course, never invest any money that you need to live or that you need to pay your bills or whatever. As you know, I'm not advising, okay? The only guys I'm advising is against a payment, and crypto is far away from that. I'm not doing any advices. That's here just for entertainment. But for me, it's clear. This phase here is for me just a future phase. I mean, I'm buying my dips anyway. It doesn't matter. I will buy them here as well, but the money that I will invest will be on futures. Because if I know it's going up and it's going down, it's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down, that's just somebody placing some hundreds on the street. You just need to walk, following him and taking the money from the street. That's the only thing, right? So what I'm going to do is exactly that. Um, I will just place my long in my shorts. But as soon as we reached our new bottom and we started our accumulation, now we will have some pumps there. Many people sometimes, I think the Mooning boys will start to say, okay, it's over, we need to buy, we need to buy. And that's actually always the same thing, as I mentioned different times now. You don't need $2 billion to manipulate the market. You just need enough money to trigger all the long liquidations. You just need to hype, to moon, to manipulate maybe the people, the mass, to say, hey, the markets is going up again. And all say, okay, cool, I will start to place my long future. That's what they are doing all the time. I had some hope 2 days before, because I noticed that the first guys started to react and they placed more shots than longs. But if I'm taking now a look to the current data, I actually see we are going back to the longs again. I will show you that. Yeah, Fahim. I'm sorry. When I'm talking, I have a notebook just on my right side, so I have to read first all comments before I can reply to that. Is it definitely manipulated? Um, define manipulation. I mean, what is manipulated? Well, I mean, yes and no. If I go to my neighbor and tell him to buy some crypto stuff, he will show me the mid finger and say, Inspo, thanks for your visit, but go away. I think the problem isn't the mooning guys. I think the problem is not actually that someone is trying to manipulate. The thing is, we are not making questions. We are just absorbing what some people say without making questions. And that's I think the biggest challenge that we have. And that's what I said. I see I have, it seems, some problems on YouTube almost with my quality of the connection. I don't know why, actually. I have a very good Wi-Fi connection here. But and that's actually the problem that happened with SNL, Elon Musk. That happens with different hypes that we had that initiated actually some expectations, and that was in consequence the feed or the food for the dumps later. So is it definitely manipulated? I cannot respond to that, but because it depends how you define manipulation. If someone on political level is rumoring to achieve some goals, is that manipulation? Well, maybe. So Andiko Belia is asking or just telling, sir, I guess the money flowing into gold and obligation for now, the gold price run like crazy. Yeah, I know, but I don't care about gold. Because what does that mean? I mean, what is the value of gold? It's the same value you have in Bitcoin, right? I mean, I don't know a lot of people that have big houses where they can just save tons or a lot of kilograms of gold there. So I really don't care about gold. And I don't care about physics anymore. I mean, physics values, because that's not the future. Um, we are, when I have mentioned in different times in the past the transition of our economy and society as well, that's not because, how I can explain that, but that's because that's going to happen. Gold will not help you in that. I mean, if you don't have anything where you can use gold, what is the value of gold then? Explain me that. If you don't need any metal more, because the industry is not using this material anymore, it doesn't need that, what is the value of metal? So for me, a transition is much more a transition from material value to information value. That's something where what Facebook, Google, and so on triggered already years before. Actually, they are the pioneers. And that's where I say crypto is the future. I don't have any doubts that crypto is the future. And all these big guys, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and a lot of different institutional investors around the world, they know it. Otherwise, they wouldn't spend 1 cent in crypto. Trust me. If you have a little safe and you can have there a little bit of gold, well, why not? You can, I mean, that's like investors work. They make some risk optimizing, sharing their money in different assets. It's maybe not that wrong, but I don't think that gold is going to help you a lot in the future. Um, okay, another question on Decobelia. Hey, Inspo, actually there is trader which success predicting the top of BTC with the time also. He is using the astrology method on trading. Do you think it's actually working or not? Okay, that's something I'm just working based on facts. Astrology maybe I don't know. It's not my topic actually. Um, I just see data. I see political decisions and trends, also based on economy, fiat political trends, and also on global level, geopolitics, it's for me my astrology. If this guy is good on predicting the tops, I don't know, okay. I mean that sounds like the turtle that's predicting who is going to be the next championship winner of the next EU championship in football, soccer. I mean in Spain, that's a turtle. In Germany, it's a different animal, but all these are not that bad predicting who will win. I just trust what I see, what I can analyze, actually. So you are going to go future long on consolidating phase? Yes, yes. I think as soon as we have this sideway run, we will actually have a big volatility, and that that makes for me much more sense than to buy and to sell the spots. Okay. Um, I will just, and that's actually today's session topic. Send me your questions. I will talk even more about the current market situation, but also take your questions and reply to that. As you know, that's now my second or third Twitch session or streaming. So for me, that's also a little bit new. I have to find the concept, okay? And I'm not done with that. So I have to make some experiments. Is the huge amount of inexperienced traders comparing to 2017 can provoke even a bigger dip, maybe the biggest in its history? Well, I mean, the history isn't that long, so yes, it can, of course. And that can be a big challenge for the market as well. So we have mm, one side we have the noobs, okay? I will tell them the unexperienced traders, the guys they are coming in, and that's where I say my goal is not to show you what you have to do, but to show you how you can make your own conclusions and your own strategy. Because I don't need a driver. I just want that every one of you drives their own car to be independent. That will be the key in the future, not only for the market, not only for my own success. I don't need your follows. I don't need your money. I just need people, a lot of them in the market, that can make their own good decisions. That's the key for a success for all of us. Otherwise, it will happen what in the history happened in different times. Okay? You will absorb what other people just put on the table. I mean, that's fine if you feel comfortable with that. I don't feel comfortable with that. And I know that just making analysis sometimes it's difficult because you have different parameters you have to take in account. But I try to give you more information to show you where you can find this data and to start to link this information together. Yes, I think it could be a big challenge because we have a lot of noobs trading right now, but we have on the other side the professionals, the experts with high volume. We have the quantity and the quality in the market right now. And I think it could be something like a balance, you know. Um, so I think it could be a challenge, and yes, it could be trigger the biggest dip in its history, maybe in terms of ratio. But I don't think that the market is going to crash. Forget that. So every time when someone is saying, "Oh, my portfolio is bleeding," well, that happens. But you will really be very happy if you maintain calm, if you are patient, and you stay to your back. You will laugh. You will have a lot of fun, and you will be very happy after a few months when you see that these bags are exploding again. Because we are moving in different levels. Actually, I would expect that we are not going to fall back to the 18th or maybe lower to the 16th. Okay? Such a market, it needs to dump, it needs to fall back again, but on a higher level than before. So if we are going to make a new all-time high, we are not going to make this all-time high at 65, maybe at 70 or 75. And the same with with the dumps and with the new bottom. If we had a bottom 16 before, we will make a bottom at 20 or maybe 25. Okay, that's also very, very crucial to understand. Otherwise, that would be for me a sign something is going wrong here, because the long-term trend of crypto is just up. It's absolutely just up. All the projects that are behind our coins are so strong, and that's the future of the economy. If you understand that, many of you know that I have 14 bags, remaining bags in my portfolio. I didn't liquidate them. Actually, I just liquidate the other 35 bags because, yeah, I thought, why not buy them for much less money in the bottom? But usually that was much more a trader mode decision than investor mode decision. And I have to switch sometimes. For me, that was before we started to dump, actually in our LPSY phase. That was where I just detected some problems in the market where I said, that's smelling not that good, very ugly. Where I just said, okay, I'm going to liquidate some bags, and I did at the end. So yeah, we will see. I go now to Twitch if I find some questions here as well, but it seems not. Wanna become famous by followers and viewers on. Thank you very much, but I don't care about to be famous actually. I really don't. I prefer to be anonymous and rich than be famous. So yeah. Well, let us go back to the data. So I hope you all can see that. I don't know why. I mean, I'm watching both streamings on Twitch and YouTube, and I really don't get why the quality in YouTube is that bad. That's really bad. Huh. Okay. So what I have noticed here is we have a 24 hours change on short positions of 54% in the last, as mentioned, 24 hours. That's a lot. That's really a lot. We have a plus that's not a big one, but we have a plus of 5% on long positions. And we have almost just at Bitfinex. I mean, that's not the biggest one, right? We have 44,000 BTCs placed as long futures and only 1,100. So the people are absolutely in pump mode. And that's actually the ammo that dumpers need. They don't need 1 or 2 billion to trigger a dump. They just really need 500 million to make a dump that's maybe 5 billion big. And that's how that's the biggest issue actually. Um, we go further. I'm going to check now the supply on exchange wallets. What's happening there? I mean, right now that's really difficult to interpret some information right there. I will show you why. Oh, we are we are still struggling here, But that's that really doesn't look good. That really doesn't look good. We don't have you see actually, I don't know, actually maybe you can't see that, but we have on the open interest stochastic money flow index indicator, we have a downtrend, and it was confirmed. And now it's struggling because usually, and that was in the last 2 weeks always the same, as soon as we got confirmed here a downtrend, and we have a decreasing trading volume. Also, that's not the case right now, because they are really fighting. That's nice to see. Um, but if we really cross falling back the EMA 100, it will dump. It will absolutely dump back to 35 and maybe beyond, because we have a lot of long futures again there. If I take a look here to the supply, everything is on minus. So that means these guys just purchased a lot of bitcoins and moved these bitcoins to the cold wallets. The only exchange right now that is supposedly showing a positive supply right now, that's Bitfinex or Bitfinex. I don't know actually how to pronounce it, but we have 4,700 bitcoins. What's and that's something really strange. We had that was 2 days ago, I think. We had a dump that was here. That was actually, yeah, that was actually, yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday. In the night. I remember I was here at 2 a.m. and I said, okay, guys, I have to sleep. I go now. I don't know what's going to happen, but the whole exchange supply disappeared. I don't know if you remember that. And I closed my short position because of that. Okay, because I thought, okay, I mean, I was doing a good money, but I thought nobody is dumping that. I'm missing something. I mean, they need some bitcoins to trigger the liquidations, right? I really don't know what happened. I don't know if actually um, Viewbase just missed this information or what happened, but they dump it. They dump it. I mean, look the trading volume. That was actually that was nothing. 3,000 Bitcoin, 3,000 Bitcoin. I mean, we are working right now with actually the double, 6,000, 7,000. That's really big. So it seems we have here right now a big fight. Somebody or a lot of people buying and a lot of people trying to sell. I don't think that's the long liquidations right now. Maybe some of them are closing, but I can imagine that. But the thing is, it's showing something we had in the past as well. Look that here. Look that here. That's crazy, isn't it? That's really crazy. So for me, and right now it's the key. It's trying to cross the EMA 100 again. As soon as we cross the EMA 100 and we stay below, it would maybe take 2 or 3 hours and we will go down. But Viewbase is just showing 4,700 Bitcoin right now on the exchanges. Everything else is red. Well, I mean, we have here 1,000. Okay, we have here a lot of different positions with 200, 300, actually 1,000 Bitcoin. We have here a withdrawal of 10,000 Bitcoin. That could be an internal operation of the exchange. So enough to trigger a long liquidation, but not a big deal. So also here we have to keep observing the market and to see what will happen next. That's why I actually, that's what I'm saying all the time. But it looks very ugly at the moment. I could imagine that we are going to go back to the 35, maybe beyond. So, and why I think that is when I take a look, for example, to the top cryptocurrency derivatives exchanges. I mean, Huobi Global is third place. That isn't bad, right? With their decision to say we are going to ban some nations. I would like to know which kind of nations they ban, but um, that isn't that bad. But they are making a volume of 30 billion in 24 hours. We have Binance with 100 billion. And I remember before we have started with our dump phase, Binance had a trading volume in terms of derivatives of 50 billion. Yesterday or the day before, it was 70. And I had hope that the people are starting to calm again and to maintain patience and to wait what will happen next. But as soon as someone is triggering hypes and mooning, the whole game starts from now. And now we have just in the last 24 hours just a plus of 32% on Binance. And as we see, that's long liquidations. That could happen. And that's the big problem. Always the same big problem. Let us check more information. Takes a little bit. So, for example, today it wasn't that bad. That was actually very good in terms of liquidations. From yesterday 6 p.m. till today 6 p.m., we had almost $488 million in short liquidations and $500 million in long liquidations. That's optimal, actually. That's perfect. They are neutralizing each other. That's really nice. But if we start now, and actually Huobi was leader in this table again with 180 million each. If we take a look, for example, now the new list is just 1 hour old, and it shows me 25 million short liquidations till now from 6 p.m. So we have 6:54 right now, so 54 minutes old, and we have long liquidations of 21 million. Well, I mean, of course, yeah, it makes sense, because when they have seen that Bitcoin is falling again, hitting 36.8, they thought it's going to dump. That's why I say just be patient. Wait a little bit. Sometimes 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours. You don't need to gain 100%. It's enough if you gain 80%, but try to minimize your risks. So these guys just jumped in here, then Bitcoin went up, They were liquidated. Then the people start to think, okay, great, we are going to pump. They place the longs here, and now it's falling back. Um, and that explains why we have almost the same value on both sides, right? So here with 25 and 21 millions. But as I know that we have much more long futures there, I know that at the end of the day, if we dump again, we will have much more long liquidations than short liquidations. If we take to my favorite list here, I have to refresh the site. So if we take a look here, is um, first of all 28th. That's in 4 days right now. 4 days, yeah. Okay, that's next Friday, right? Next Friday. Okay, next Friday we will have some liquidations anyway. We will talk about that afterwards. But we have the open interest here. We have, for example, a negative open interest at Binance. Um, the good thing here, they don't expire. So that's not like some other contracts that have expiring dates. So for example, some of their OKEX, for example, they will expire May 28th. That's next Friday. So it could have a little impact, not a big one. The big one is coming in June. So we have on Binance a negative open interest. And for now, that's a good sign. Why? Because we are in a downtrend. So these people are still making some money with that, or actually they are not in the situation that they have or are closely to be liquidated because the pressure is going too big in terms of the margin calls. Um, and the same you have right here, but you have a lot of different other futures and open interest with positive interest. And these guys could be liquidated because they still have, for example, here that's a big one here. That's what's that? CC Fox. I don't know CC Fox. 1.6 billion. And so if I take a look right here, we have just if we take the derivatives makes $71 billion in volume within 24 hours in this market. The open interest, so the derivatives, the open interest 12.5 billion. The spot traders almost 40 billion. I mean, compare that. Okay, so that's why I say that spots, it's not crucial to manipulate or to dump a market. You just need to have a lot of people that starts um, to play some futures. That's the key. That's that's your tool if you want to pump or dump actually your market. And that's why I use these informations to take a look at that and to have a feeling what could happen today. And when I take a look to exactly that, so when some guy started today with we are mooning today, we are mooning tomorrow, and we will moon, and I have a good feeling, and it's absolutely fine. I'm really fine with that, but that's not the level where I want to work with you guys. It's not about feeling. Maybe it's not about astrology as well. I just want to discuss with you on one level. You are not less than me, nor you are not more than me. Feelings, emotions are the biggest enemy in this market. That's why when someone says, "Yeah, I have a good feeling, and we will pump, and we will moon tomorrow," I at the beginning when I started with Twitter, I replied to everyone. Now I'm resisting because it doesn't make any sense for me. It's like a loop. Even if I explain emotions, forget your feelings. Try to check the data and make your own analysis. Okay? Sometimes you have the situation the data is not absolutely clear. Hypes. That's why I hate hypes. Because hypes are external factors destroying any analysis that you are doing. You can spend hours and hours front of your screen making chart analysis, and then Alan come away and say, "Hey, we are going to buy 2 billion or invest $2 billion in Bitcoin." That's it. Forget my chart. I wasted time. That's why I hate this. I don't hate that in general because that's part of the game. Okay? That's we live or we have a society where influencers are really influencers. They influence people. But that's not someone like someone that have a gun front of you. You let you influence by them. That's like your feelings. When I say don't let you guide by fear, that's not fear that someone is mentioning, that's the fear that you have in your head. So try really to forget this. If you are scared, turn off your PC. Make a break 2, 3 days, 4 days, and go back and deal with it. Okay? Always have in mind, this market is not going to crash tomorrow. Not in 5 years, not in 10 years even. This market is the future. This market is like stock market in, well, I would prefer to say after 45, after 50s. But that's the thing. I mean, I'm very grateful to Bitcoin and to the whole technology behind, because what we are doing right now, we are actually, you guys, also the guys that started now to work with crypto, are the pioneers. The mass is still to come. And when I say XRP will go to moon, it's not mooning. It's not nonsense saying I'm hyping something, or Coty, or CLR, or ADA, Cardano, or a lot of different beautiful and awesome projects we have there. Even Doggy. Okay? Even Doggy. Yeah, Doggy is unfortunately a victim of Elon Musk, but it's a nice project. And so all these projects will go to moon comparing to the current price in the next years. If you maintain patience and calm, and you don't let you guide by fear, and you maintain and you stay to your backs, in few years you will say, fuck, that's huge. And that will be. People will pay much more each token that you are paying right now. Much more. Of course, coins and the projects behind, they have to make good progress. And unregulated markets also says it invites some scammers as well. That's also part of the game. So I will, and I announced that in the past, I will try to make a little guide with you how to detect some scams. Okay, what kind of documentation you have to check before you invest some money. If I don't see, if for example we had some coin, I'm not going to mention one coin, what coin that is, but it is a coin that looked very promising for me. It is investing in a nation, in projects where I said, I like it. I would put some money there. But they started to announce in their roadmap that actually Bitcoin will list them end of the year. Wow. I didn't hear about any coin that is telling you before they have any contract signed with Binance that they are going to be listed there. When I ask for white paper, when I ask for different audits, for example, auditors are very interesting because they are checking actually the technology behind and the rights that the owners of the projects have to your money. They didn't reply to me, and that was for me, okay, I'm not going to introduce 1 cent there. I'm not going to add or to buy any coin there because that smells like maybe it's not a scam, but not professional enough to give them my trust, to give them my money. So, and that's what I'm going to show you in a different session. I see no more questions are coming. I hope I'm not boring you. So for me, it's much better if you can make some questions and we can talk about that. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about the market and what's happening right now. So actually, what I see here is we are crossing EMA 100, and it looks like that the let me see if that's happening. Yeah, the trading volume is decreasing again. So that's the pattern that we had here as well. It was actually the same. The only thing was we had here a trading volume, a decreasing trading volume. Then they pumped it. It had here, it was the struggling phase that we had here, and then they dump it hard. That's something that can happen here again, and maybe I said 35. I think 35. That's cool because we have a support right here, but it could go. It could form a downstairs. So that means the first dump, maintain a level, and go over to the next dump. That could happen. As I mean, if that happens, and it should happen then the next days, we are actually confirming what Wyckoff is showing us since the last 100 years, right? And so I'm looking forward to get the confirmation that we are in the redistribution phase, because if we do that, if we get the confirmation and we know, hey, we are here right now and we will dump even more, and we will have the depression situation by a lot of traders where they say I'm really done with this market. I will never make it all back again. And that's the last moment where they sell everything, and that's where we have to buy. I mean, I'm buying all the day. I'm buying every day with the passive generated income of DeFi. But for me, it's clear this price level here, it's for us crucial to make the big gain. And when I say the big gain, I don't know if you remember what we did between end of December and end of March or mid-March. I mean, just watching how my portfolio was exploding. I had almost in the peak 60 bags, different coins in my portfolio, and they did almost 300%. That was just really, what the hell is going on here? If that was celebrating every day, just taking a look to the chart and saying, I love that. I love that. Please, please, please keep it up. But that's not how the market works. I mean, we have to sell here and we have to buy here, and this phase here will be here again. And that's a thing we have to understand. That's like um, the life cycle, actually. I mean, in physics, I don't know how they say that in English. Let me see. That's a sinus curve, okay? That's just a sinus curve. You see that in different disciplines in science. P, for example, okay? So actually, that's the only thing that matters. Everything else, it doesn't. You just need to know where you are. And when you know where you are, and that's why I'm looking for this transition phase, then we can predict what's going to happen next. And then and trust me, and in that case, you will make your own decisions, and it will work. You will make a lot of money. It will change your life. It will change everything. Okay, money is not everything. As we know now with the pandemic, health is the highest value thing that we can have in life, but money helps a lot. And taking into account and getting the confirmation that we are making exactly that here, it will change your life. I'm convinced that this here is going to happen, and we are on track. It's not perfectly on point. It's not possible to make this, but it's almost. And as soon as we know the trend is going up, and then we need to have in mind, okay, it's going to go up, but it's not going to go up really strong, and we have to be careful because it will flip. We need just to detect the signs before it's flipping. Sell again. Start the opposite trade. And the same here. Okay? We will pump, and they will think it's maybe initiating the new rally. And I will tell you and say, guys, be patient. Let us wait. And then it will flip. And then we will form a downtrend. And that's going to be a loop. So the key is patience. The key is patience and smartness. We have to take a look to the charts, we have to analyze, we have to be smart. Smarter than every, yeah, that some mooning guys. They will moon here, they will moon here, they will be frustrated here, and they will moon here again, and they will frustrated here. And when we detect the really rally, when we say, okay, it's not, it's now it's the time where we will get our money, our profit, they will say, ah, that's a suckers rally. And that's the point. That's the psycho market cycle. That's how it works. Well, guys, I mean, yeah, that's actually everything that I have today. I mean, we have a confirmed downtrend right now. It looks like this 1 hour candle is 43 minutes old. It looks like it will go up. Um, Maybe it goes up to 37.7, but it will flip again and go down. It's struggling on the EMA 100, and I think it will stay there for a bit. I don't know how long it takes before they dump it. We had once that was yesterday or the day before. The day before, we had actually a whole day struggling on the EMA 20. Okay, so when we thought, okay, we are pumping up, then EMA 50 just resisted, and we retested it different times, but we maintained actually a level between 38.3 and 37.2. And that's something that could happen today again, that we maintain this level and tonight maybe they dump it. We will see. I mean, the market is still unpredictable, and that's why I say, and that would be extremely helpful if we can predict it, because we have a schematic that show us the track, right? That's my opinion. As usual, I'm not going to advise anything. I'm not going to say what you have to do or something. It's up to you. What do you want to make? Um, I said a lot in the last 90 minutes that should help you to make your own conclusions and decisions. So if someone has some questions, mm, go forward. Otherwise, I'm going to close the session for today. And I think I will offer you a stream every 2 or 3 days, just to bring some updates. I'm not going to bring any bearish tweets anymore, because it seems I have an app that informs me about followers, and actually it's not about, I'm not counting the followers, but I don't want that people just follow me to get some information, and I noticed that in the past that happens, then they unfollow me and share this information as their own informations, and I don't like this. So as soon as I see that someone is unfollowing me, I'm blocking him. It's not because I'm angry, it's not because I'm frustrated, it's just because it has something to do with respect. I'm doing that, I mean, mainly for me. I'm doing my market analysis and I'm sharing this knowledge and this view with you guys. So I don't care if you are not following me. Um, but if you followed me and I see you are unfollowing me, and then using actually this information, that's yeah, it doesn't feel really nice. So um, yeah, in case of, I'm blocking then these people just because of that. I don't want that they share information that they get from my account without to have the balls just to follow me. Thank you very much, Jam. I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate actually all your feedbacks, guys. And thank you very much, really, that for interacting, for sharing information. That's my goal. That's really to create a community of people that want to learn how to trade, to learn how to interpret some information. And that's the best thing we can do. I would say that's the spirit of crypto as well. And as I told you, that's just the beginning, really. Okay? So, if you have some questions, you can drop me a line. My DM is still deactivated. I think, let me check if I can activate the DMs on Twitter. Security, no, notifications, privacy, direct messages. Allow message requests from everyone is activated. So in any case, someone has some questions about, well, maybe some questions about the market, something I told you, I said that wasn't really clear or something, please don't send me any individual request to should I buy, should I sell something. I'm not going to reply to this kind of messages. I'm not an advisor. I'm just sharing my opinion, and that should be clear. So yeah, I would say we will talk each other again. Well, I mean, tomorrow I don't think I will be able to talk, so I would say Wednesday I would try to initiate or to start a new stream, and hopefully we have more information where we can talk about that and to make some live analysis. When we are done and we have confirmed the transition to redistribution, I will talk to you about different coins. Okay, so I'm actually not only focused on Bitcoin. I mean, I really, actually, I wouldn't care about Bitcoin if Bitcoin wouldn't have the effect of dominance. But so in the future, and as soon as we know we are on track and we know that we are in this schematic and we can predict some points, some trends, then I will go over and yeah, maybe twice in the week talk about coins. You can send me then some coins you have, for example, where I can analyze these coins and talk about these coins and maybe make some predictions. What I think in terms of a transition, economy transition, which position would have this coin in the whole um, transition environment and later on in the new economy that we will get. Okay, Keiko, thank you very much actually for your feedback as well. And then I would say, as none questions are coming in, I'm going to close the stream for today. As mentioned, I will stream again Wednesday. I will try actually if I'm able to talk then. And yeah, stay safe. As I say, don't let you guide by fear, by your emotions. The best thing you can do is make questions. Make questions. Every time when you see a chart on Twitter, a comparison between 2017 or 2018 with 2021, take a look to this chart. Don't get it as they send it, okay? Just check it. What is about the timeline? What is about the zoom? So are they working with a 5-minute view or 1 day view? That would be absolutely make more sense actually. And sometimes I don't know if these guys are trying to manipulate. I don't know actually. I think many of them have a lot of bags with Bitcoin and they are scared. Okay, that's actually an instinct that we all have. That's part of us. So, but when I see some guy like Carl, and actually I think I would like this guy. I don't know him, but when I see he is predicting 100K in 1 week, and then he is predicting 30K and maybe beyond. That's something where I say, okay, I don't know, Carl, but it's better if you make a break or you go to holiday for a week or something. Um, so yeah, we have to see what will happen in the future, but I think for us, as soon as we have a plan, we have to stick to our plan. We need to have a strategy. We have to share information together, and I think we will have a very good happy end. So look forward, guys, and I appreciate all your feedback and thank you very much. Have a nice holiday if you have a holiday in your nation. Otherwise, have a nice week and hopefully we can talk each other next Wednesday in my stream. So be careful and all the best for you guys. Bye bye.